Shall I? Yeah? Okay. I'm Kate. I'm going to do some of my poems, too. Sure. Yeah. Maybe one day crossing paths on X's on the road up high, but you have to get there on your own with separate lessons on your side, rather than focus on the meaning. I made to concern myself with the purpose when hark thou art not from where come these forces. Found myself on many courses, humble sorcerers and other moral enforcers on my path or choices, and I mustn't be crunched under gears on the cog wheel of fortunes, meeting ends in divorces. I'm really thinking, turning a phrase and freezing, seeking safety and narrowly seizing it. Some places hollowed when faces were harrowing. The big mouth is the difference between the dolphin and the porpoise. But both have teeth like me. I drift to sleep counting endorphins, hoping to wake to more of them. Memories haunt ears from a long Texas pier. Seen Selena in Corpus, and we're talking statues, not corpses. I'm sorry, I'm feeling morbid, because these months I've been so unsure of things. Then of course there comes the queen, saving me again, just when in despair I beg what could this still be happening again. She's been my respite from constant waving in. Countless folks like getting drilled on the Virginia V steamboat, not rowing along alone, hoping to free this voice out of my throat. Wow, tingling true water clapping, fuck the patriarchy. I'm writing liquid metaphors into the sunset. Only regret is delayed art of forgiveness. Yeah, defenses got relentless and more than dented, getting dented while I'm chewing up resentment. I'm between nervous and terrified, but I don't mind your beeswax honey, so please don't probe my hives. Only in the daughter of the son of Joseph do I so confide, with a little tremor and damp eyes, spilling baggage from the last guises and cringing through discussion touching on finances. It won't be like this in due time. Hyperverbal to compensate for when my neurodivergence defeats my ability to express or demonstrate. Trigger push for the resurgence of my traits, so childlike like most my life. And man, some partners sure were perverted, especially that first one. Pinned me his corsage, monsieur, saw to this prompt percussion of a manic pixie dream girl. I'd long moved on to become a different sort of trope, a host to a misanthrope who pulled a fast one, and perhaps too little time beneath me microscope. Best I take my leave when his heating rakes my sleeve. Oh please don't be to this hindsight see through this relationship whose ghost is likely to remain. It's murderous fodder for many a refrain. I don't know where we were going, though I know I had to get here on my own. But it's never bad to be back to home alone. On the path, no one had my back in the past. I had to get there on my own, but I no longer go down this path alone. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh. Thank you. That was called respite. Respite. Yep. About different times I've had a lot of hives, for this reason or that. Yeah. This is called Shells. It's kind of, sort of about like a turtle and a little cicada nymph's complicated relationship, Okay. And is it possible to hear? I guess I couldn't hear either too well, but maybe that makes sense. Never mind, I'll just be quiet. Okay. Forget I said anything. Okay, perfect. I'll just, if I stand, cool. Okay, I'm annoying. In the woods, a snapping turtle and a little creature underground come out synchronized after both being down and deeply inside. So as chance would have it, their paths did collide. Both at the time were due to open woundedness aligned, and both bonded and obliged. Caught by his ties, tucked away by his sides, her presence confided when he was of a mind to try. After failure, weather is changing, and here on the ground a panic spins up a dust cloud of doubts. He's shrouded in now. How timely he ducked under that cloak, his dome temple called home. He's dry, she's soaked, he's in the cup, she's on the broken boat, and she was scared wet. How could they forget she sought shelter inside with him, and he suggests perhaps a tent, and yet they then later had a litter of brittle iterations. It was a bad batch, a bunch of short-lit matches. Burned the mattress, fire than ice, bitter than nice. I mean, it warms and burns, and cold shoulders return and fold before his face. Worn, she's almost ashes inside, so at least her lashes can finally dry. Until next time, she honors upon her departure. If she stays where she doesn't belong, she'll harden in her shell and she'll never share her song. Her limbs ball and sockets all dislocated by her ball and chain, her pocket watch and locket. If she's ever gonna grow, she knows she's gonna have to let it go. But then again, when above ground is thawing out and an urge to reemerge is again dawning, all along she sent tokens of longing, affection, and prayer for his protection. And finally, with his eye peering down her canal, he says, "It's okay, you can come out now." Slow by nature, it's often time for fasting her. Before she'd buck, he'd steer then flee, leaving her to be disappeared. She'd ask, explain that, cause it just doesn't fit in my ears. When I'm banished after cheers of endearment, he must not fancy being revered, or it's the fantasy he feared. Slamming the door in her face like a guillotine, he becomes a rock to bounce her back like a trampoline. Last time she's a boomerang, now that this here is a different scene. Dressed to his nines with shoes tied to the crime, caught by the smooth sole and size. Gotta fit those claws inside right. She pondered at him. For a turtle, you sure are fawning hard. See, darling, face it, we were Harold and Maude. True story, more emotions over a fraudulent heart, acting out duplicitous charm. And I noticed that we belong apart. We're caught in a six of sticks or tangled branches. Boiling blood, our best chance blanches. Hopeful romantics under garland vines and firefly lanterns. But this horseshoe's rusted, promises suffer combustion. And I prefer justice, not revenge. And justice is accountability at best. I need closure, not fixative, to not feel this conflicted. Oh, reptilian depicted. What was your real name again? I know, you're Dick. Short for vindictive, not Richard. It's fine for him. Once again, we've wasted grace upon our backs and morning light upon our lacks. Then now the honeymoon came only after it's over. Ain't that so backwards? But this time their tree had died, and after a little while up it fell to its side. Now this tree doesn't shade on the sun, and its roots are not sufficient for a little one to sustain. She must move on and transform, not so what's torn, be both reborn. And even though only he surrounds himself now, when the right one comes along, space will make itself inside that shell. I think it's safe to say that they know now, if they're ever gonna grow, they know they're gonna have to let it go. Thank you. Thank you.
So
what are your thoughts on time?
you can have at least 2 more, and really, how many more would you like to do?
Oh, I could do as little or as many as you want, so you could just tell me and be like, we're getting bored.
Let's be thinking 2 or 3.
Okay, cool. Let's see then. Maybe missed my hard-earned chance. My hand slipped off an olive branch. You stumped to make haste. I don't trust my taste or my pace, hunting me with a bated breath. Not kept abreast of what's next. This life is not a test or trial, I confess. I bit off more than I could chew, as you so wanted me to do. But if you are in it for the cake, I may just come unglued. Misconstrued news and an intuition by another's bruise threw me for a loop. Don't confuse me, I tell myself. Don't seduce me by feeling felt by me. I tighten my belt and boots a step out in here. Tears are measured by the falling rain. Makes my perspective painted, gritted, and inflamed. Masking my horror with a bare face. Sharing personal effects of health without asking them or myself what's been dealt. And I am my dilapidated shelter from a scary something else. A dilated pupil learning safety via stealth. And if I am to understand them, I must imagine standing in their shoes and they mine too. But not only just in order to come a knocking on my boots. The price is this crisis in the circle of its noose. The symptoms of the problem that I still can't quite deduce. Is it safe? Am I seeing straight? Will I feel replaced if I witness that stage? Or will his book lend me this page? Chased, I run away. Blunt ends may become feathered again as I spread my wings and stray. And fair weather fellas feared, making me most disinclined to stay. I'll not be a wet nurse cursed by compassion for one's thirst. I'm not Kuan Yin just cause you're a dragon. Damage from my past of lacking. So my abundant service valued first. No, sir. Carve me a path to peaceful union, please. I must remain whole for divine mercy. I implore the track record deplorable who is keeping score. Haunted by the thought of my possession, appalled at the blinders to disrespecting. So please excuse my dust unsettling. Faith in the faith of trust I'm wrestling. I can't grit my teeth and bear it, I'm too scared, Lord spare me. Nervous system impaled by fright, trust impaired by dangerous new heights. Please tucked under my overbite, afraid to say that this isn't right. I'm a fly in the face of the facts he can't cover. I'm the last complex case his career will recover. I'm fed up to the molars with verbal baby food on a rubber cover spoon from this phony saccharine. Supposed good actor churning bitter bits of attitude and will misinterpret me until I'm doomed. Each time I report to that room, stress levels balloon and I am on my best diction to be safe. And once I nearly escaped until another's loss fixed the election, left me no selection. I walk right back into his trap, but in the nick of time, there's a flaw in the latch, there's a fish on my line I've been dying to catch. Don't need to cast in his incisors, cause this practice preaches what I see. Yet I have basic needs that it doesn't meet. I feel desperate to retreat and not participate in the history repeat. Don't pretend to wear my boots, just give them back to me. Thank you. I have one that's actually much more on the shorter side, you know, like a little under 2 minutes. You think that's probably a good idea?
Yeah, so we've got plenty of time. So my inclination is to let everybody have a little extra time. So just be comfortable with what you'd like to do, and I don't want to force you to do more than you're ready to do. Since I don't know each other, I don't know what you're comfortable with, but you can have at least 2 more if you like.
Okay,
and
cool.
Then we'll probably cycle around and maybe even have a second chance to come back.
Very cool. Okay, thank you. Awesome. So, then, let's see if I know this one. Oops, let me turn that up. Planet like Pluto, none of that's canceled, not even pseudo. Old news feels nuevo, the wrong station cuts our cable, but it's okay though. If that's what's detrimental upon the world with actual another climax, things seem so casual. In my space I look more aerial, so see there's not enough in our area. Well there is, but your weather makes forecast variable. Past not comparable with you, but what's next if your actions I'm comparing me to? Pass me my binoculars and let me look at you. Look into this by past digress and any past to greener grasses. I may become neon if you're later looking back or backwards. And to aging over eons until my age is better tracked by your years of your impact. I tripped you, then dipped you into my cold hard cash, written down in my loss that I found on your face like a fake laugh after. So what's in your stash? Or perhaps if I'd only ever ask it, anything that could tame this, it's once again not quite the same. So what's cultivating an intrigue and right brain my breathing is you breaking the panes of the window we keep talking through. Equilateral yet reflecting differently on you, cause I'm not mad, I'm only sad at you. Not even that though, I'm mostly just bad at you. According courageous constant changes and a bit incorrigible, I'll let you underripple this gold these poor bridges cool. This locks me to just that I'm pool, or your leg, I'm your fool. I always call myself that as if it's a matter of caste, and I can be quite a gladiator and fight for the act if I forfeit or if I forget to ask or forget to laugh or last. But buttercup, you make light on my face, bottoms up, celibate. No, I celebrate my new face. This is just it in this phase. My open cage, embrace without braces. Our breaks made us respect for faces, the spaces between us. Arrange us, adjust us, adjust, cause we're feeling injustice as we wait and just in time. You saw what I was saying, so this so talk at all, then and all. I just think our wrongness, lawless, isn't always loveless. It's different actions. Your hands on my necklace, but you're not reckless, you're reckless, and I'm invested in this once nearly wrecked ship. Am I being protected by your integrity that I keep pleading with? Be reticent, but don't plead the fifth, rather hold me by wrist until splashing with me, masking my wishful thinking that your interest outlasting me. You stay fascinating to me, everlasting in memories, but do make a few more with me. Explore our shores more with me, much more to be born with me, creatively, not reproductively. I'm not stuck, so don't get stuck to me like a barge to a barnacle or two tiny fish in a sea, small existentially. I'm swimming to land, but let the sun keep walking me, warming me and bronzing me. You're golden and growing and great at grazing me, lately pacing me, letting our ghosts pass gracefully. Coming soon is a waitlisted awakening for me. Not quite out of the woods, it'll all be good. All would be damned if they'd fallen into the creeks or deep crevices. Leaves had been leaving them, I walked through them. You're calling and I'm back to us again, thrust back to be crushed again or crush again. Timber temperatures catch me, lumber juxtaposition. I am under an old pile of splinters, yet I know the way out. Now just listen, my skin no longer thin and sore now, and it's not even winter now. That emotional trap of a season, and this addicts you so a reason to stop living then. When things got messy, messed me up, but to be reborn better than before, to settle old scars and old scores with love and patience, not wars. Silent battles, snakes and grass that rattles me under my feet. Clean bricks as I shattered until again I am complete and gathered, enjoying the heat and the bright light of day till you reach me at night where we should sleep. Well, the thrill will be cheap, but almost too rich to not just let you see me.
I'm gonna do a shorter one.
Why ever roam? Why leave from this home? You don't knock my stones and I don't knock what you know. Emotional psychometry, your hair, facial physiognomy. I am scared, you're prepared. We still share like fairs to break new barriers. I am bright and pale, you are dark and beautiful. Sweet suitor, so suitable. See my many fences living under puzzle, preserving my little pieces of my little lockets. Many burn hole, check my pockets. Empty, nothing lost but caught my losses. I had no voice yet full of words like lozenges. I'm at to live to lost again. I dream of doing wake and frost again. I'll live to lost again. I see my own lots of beach, chocolate from my seas, and my body colossal barge fees and kind of sauce hands to Disney. Mostly, no one knows yet, nothing is secret. So hard to keep an emotional baggage beyond perceiving. Feelings finally, they can't get better, all painting me lead free and brightly pleased. I'm shipping up into sacred geometry. Belongingly, I break all patterns, I'm shatterproof, ready, her promoting. I am splatterproof, mind of automatically, I will introduce my truth in a meeting of old landmines. Pop my lay lifeline, and I'm standing here bulletproof. Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't do it, don't be stupid, and maybe proof. But hate your ruthlessness to whom you know it's you, but back to new. I once was borrowed and more than twice I was blue. Brotherly nights and saw ponds, frozen dark as ice is. Our cold war senses and your ice picks priceless. We're always rather, so let's just do it. Go through it, solve our story, short distance to the freedom we are long, and these are not belongings there. But the puzzles we are like silent apostles, we are the keepers who keep us hostage just for freeing processes. Let no one box us in again.